Welcome to J.R. Hendrick, Texan Consort. Today's episode is Open Your Eyes. Does She Love Me? Here narrating is Jimmy. 11 a.m. Eastern. At the Russell Senate Office Building, Jim is conferring with Arkansas Senator Dale Bumpers about receiving his appointment. Well, it would be nice to nominate a moderate or conservative for a change. The president hasn't been that easy to persuade with that, Bumper said. You're going to need another ally on the House side. And so, what do you think I recommend this afternoon is that you go see Congressman Joe LaFalce. He's a bit liberal, but he don't mind talking to a John F. Kennedy Democrat, which is what you said you were. I was. I voted for John F. Kennedy, but then I voted for Ronald Reagan. The main reason I voted for Clinton was to improve the dang economy. And I'm going to hold him to that, Jim said. Well, I can't wait to work with you, sir. It's going to be a pleasure if we can get you some allies on the House side. I would be willing to recommend your confirmation should President Clinton decide to nominate you. "10 a.m. Central. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Elizabeth is watching The Price is Right. Betsy is outside collecting eggs from the chickens. The first set of eggs that they'd had in 2 months. The frost from the previous fog had melted away, and the temperature was in the mid-40s. It was a nice sunny day. Okay, now 10:35 a.m. JR meets with Dave Smith in his room to discuss their plans for school and the plan for both of them to go home together. I know I said last year I might study accounting, but I'm telling you, I'm going for applied economics, Dave said. My advisor, Dr. Hadley, said that I could look at government regulations on all the other industries and use this to help me get into our school. I'm going for public affairs with an eye on political communications track. I just have to go by the library to the Center for the Visually Impaired and then walk over to see Dr. Harmon about registering in public affairs, JR said. 1 p.m. Eastern. Jim is in the office of Congressman John LaFalce to discuss his upcoming nomination. The ranking chair of the House Small Business Committee said that he was thinking about highly recommending him because it had been noised that Jim Hendrick is a John F. Kennedy Democrat. 1:30 p.m. Eastern. 1:30 p.m. Central. JR is in the office of Dr. Andrew Harmon, the chairman of the Department of Political Communications in the Institute for Public Affairs at the School of Mass Communications. They talked politics as Harmon gave him a tour of facilities and got him registered. There was a public relations lab where campaigns would be set up, a theater-style lobbying room, and the biggest lecture hall, MassCom 101. He even walked him over to Holden Hall 101, a new really built lecture hall where JR would have one of his classes. 3 p.m. JR goes to register for spring classes with Leanne Burney for advice. JR brings a copy of his schedule and degree plan to the Center for Visually Impaired, but he keeps one for himself along with the course catalog with the degree plan and the course descriptions. 3 p.m. Eastern. Jim is led by the congressman to the U.S. House chamber for a minute where they're getting ready to have a subcommittee hearing. He's then taken to see the Democratic congresswoman from Texas, who grilled him about his views on the economy. 7 p.m. Dave Smith is 3 miles from Odessa when he starts talking more seriously with JR. Seriously, man, I don't think she loves you the way you love her. So give up your fantasies about Karen Crider. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If you dump her and say, go out with someone like Jennifer Bowers. 7:15 p.m. They arrived at Jim Bob Horton's house. Ken agrees to take JR home and spend the night with him. If you could only see, Jim Bob, what this means to me, to meet without Brad. After all that he's done to JR and me, I never want to see him again. My sister Patricia came home from Angelo State last weekend. And when she found out what Brad said and did about you, she was pissed, Jim Bob Horton said. Now, I can't work with you guys on a plan to work for peace. Right now, there is no peace. Not as long as Brad is acting the way he is, JR said. They had pizza for dinner and talked about everything but Brad and the rivalry he was having with Ken. At 9:30, Ken puts JR in his car with their luggage, and they drive out to the ranch. JR has a slight sniffle, so he goes straight to bed, while Ken talks to the rest of the family. Hope you've enjoyed the Strenuous Life Radio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of. And we hope you enjoy the J.R. Hendrick Texan Consort. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of this adventure. Please hang back and enjoy the rest of the story. Take care.